Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Honorable the Quality Control of Nimnu Puchang Sidoarjo, Honorable the Headmaster of Nimnu Puchang Sidoarjo, and all the speaker of debate about modification of genetic for today, and also the audience. Actually, today our debate will talk about modification of genetic. Debate for today there are 4 parts. For the first part, all the speaker will give opinion from each speaker, and the second part, the speaker from pro or con will be give argue, and the third part is free debate, and the last is closing statement. So that's why for all the audience, please we start from the first part.
We are from pro with GM food. We have so many data that for GM food has so many advantage than disadvantage. The first reason is based on the data. In 2016, the UN Food and Agriculture Organization, or we used to call it FAO, reported that 795 million people in the world were undernourished. It means that the era of hunger should be a priority of policy making. The most realistic solution for this to boost the crop yields, especially for GM. And then the second reason is decreasing in arable land. Like we know, after we have so many population in this world, and of course the land become decreasing too. And to avoid it, so we need more GM products, include to plants or animals. And then the third reason, if on conventional breeding, it needs long time to produce some plants or animal to fulfill our needs. Yeah, it has been more 10 until 15 years. So this is based on our crop, this is the fastest way to supply our food, especially in the world. And then the fourth advantage is economic benefit. Yeah, after we have so many diversity about the food, and of course we have so many diversities on the plant or animals. And of course, it can be resistant with some pesticide, resistant with herbicide, and especially for the rice, we have golden rice that produced by IRRI from Philippines. It contains beta carotene. It means that the rice contains vitamin A to avoid us from eye disease. And then the fifth, of course, about economic benefit. It has more set up about GM food. We have many income from it, and of course for the income, especially for nation or for housework can be increased too. And then the sixth, modification of the chemical composition in food, like I said in the last, like golden rice, it contains beta carotene that stimulate vitamin A to avoid us from eye disease. And of course for 7, it products for therapeutic purpose. If we eat GM food, it means that we eat antibiotic, and of course it can stimulate our immunity to protect ourselves from many diseases inside or around us. Okay, thank you.
Before that, I want to tell what is the genetic engineering. Now we know the genetic engineering is a process by which the genes of a living thing are modified or changed. Genes are tiny units that carry information about an organism. They make up the material called DNA, and which is found in the cell of every living thing. And then for genetic engineering, that's to 1973, when two American scientists cut and the giant mix of DNA. Now, okay. Now, from the Anna said, okay, from the genetic engineering we can produce the golden rice, right? Now, from the golden rice, how about if the genetic engineering is not perfect, or another word is fail. Now, how the effect? Now, from I know, if the genetic engineering is not do the mutation gene from the plant and is fail, now it can make the produce unpredictable mutation genes, and then it can make the plants become toxic and broke our environment, and then it can make our farmer must be changed to the plants transgenic, and then the price of the plants transgenic is so high price.
Yes.
Now, Ma'am Emma said, when we use the genetic engineering, we have many income. Now, for who? For who? For all the society in Indonesia, or only some individual? Now,
okay, I add the opinion photo from Ma'am Emma. I continue before answer the question from Contra. Yeah, I will explain first about the lab testing and the research. The this GMO have been proven safe through testing and use, and can even increase the safety of common foods. From who? From where? 3 years of lab testing, 30 years of lab testing, and then 15 years of field research. It can be proved, proved that the food or the plant is safe to consume by humans and animals also. And I take the quotes from Martina Newell, PhD Director of the Universitas of California Biotechnology Research, that 2,000 global studies have affirmed the safety of GM crops. And the trillions of meals containing GMO ingredients have been eaten by humans over the past few decades, with zero verified case of illness related to the food being genetically altered. So, this food by GMO can be alternative foods that can solve the problem in 9 people face hunger in Africa. Of course, in our country, there is this problem, and we can solve this problem with many population that can consumption by us. And for toxic, the protein for technique of GMO is use the GNA or mix, I think, mix the DNA from one living thing to another living thing. But DNA is protein. people in percent, just 0.000 cannot be proven that the foods by GMO is consist toxic. Okay, I think enough.
Okay, next speaker for one.
I think here. Okay, for your settlement, maybe, especially, I'm sorry, not maybe, especially in Indonesia, I think not anymore can apply about genetic engineering because Indonesia is the agraris country, but we know many product in Indonesia, but we are still import, not export. So how about genetic engineering apply in Indonesia? This is for I asked about the statement Ma'am Erna and Ma'am Sally, but now I ask again about I ask because I am contra ya. We know many scientists have conducted research about genetical engineering, about humans, like cloning, and then insemination. You know that? I ask, this is in Islam. We know we are here, Islam. Okay, so many ulama say this is haram because we know it is same with imitation and change created by Allah. So how about this one? Because genetic engineering is change the deoxyribonucleic acid DNA in bahasa. This is change created by Allah. I think this is haram in Islam. Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, what about the next speaker to argue for the second speaker from the fourth?
Okay, thank you for the chance. I will add from the data from my team about the GMO. The first genetic engineering, especially about GMO, I think it's still best choice to apply in our country. Why? Because like we know in many supermarkets, for example, more than 40% the vegetable, the fruit, the meat, and so on, although the things import from other country, but the system that apply still use GMO. Why? Because GMO is a good way to fulfill our nutrition, to fulfill the nutrients from food or others. And from Ma'am Ayu say, why in Indonesia still import, although we is a maritime country, that we know the people in Indonesia is so many people, more than millions people stay in Indonesia, and to fulfill their need, especially for nutrition, it need the way to fulfill the nutrition with the genetic engineering, for example, GMO. And in Indonesia, for GMO, that is the law to protect to do GMO. For example, in the Article 7 of Law Number 14 of 2001 concerning patents, states that patents can provide protection for non-biological process to create plants or animals. So in Indonesia, for GMO or genetic engineering is
project by our government and it's made to do in Indonesia. Okay, I
So,
think
okay, the next speaker is the third speaker from Cone that already, from the second speaker already answered by the third speaker from the Cone. Now you can give your opinion or argue that in the third speaker from Cone. Go ahead. No, the third speaker.
okay for that. Okay.
Okay, give a applause. Serious. Correct.
Okay. For that, let me repeat what the pro team said before, that they say GMO is helping our country to what is that? To upgrade the quality of food, of plant or crops. Yes. But let us say who that can eat those food, who can buy that food. Is it true that our nation, all of our nation citizens can buy the genetic engineering food? Is it true that can be enjoyed by all unite, or it only can be enjoyed by several majority people that have power or have money? Because we know that some food that has been processed, it should be have the higher cost, as Ma'am Paiti said before. Yes, as Ma'am Paiti said before, that the genetic engineering make the food, make the plant gain the more cost. So is it true that the genetic engineering is for our country, not for to fulfill what the majority or some people who has power to fulfill their need? Okay, that's first from me. And it has the high cost. Also, like us said before, that the genetic engineering actually can fulfill our humanity. It can fulfill the social aspect of us in our life. Why? Because we know that even if we play with the genes, if we play with the DNA, is it really safe? Is it really safe? As Ma'am Sally said before, Ma'am Sally said that the genetic engineering has been lab tested for over 30 years, and she doesn't mention what program that has been tested, because we know that there are many programs from the genetic engineering. Yeah, that's from me.
So for the next speaker for the pro, please. This is the argue from the point about the statement from the second speaker, right?
What?
Yeah.
The only concern is the agriculture. Besides that, we have many states, many people, many fields that also implement the GM. And then for the question about who are the people can consume the GMO food, I think all of you can simply speaking, I think all of you have eaten tempeh.
Yes.
Tempeh is the product of
It's not
GMO.
vegetable.
GMO.
GMO. That
Soy,
is very
the
simple GMO.
soybean that we have import.
And then for the higher technology of GMO, I think you also have eaten it when you buy the vegetable and fruit from the supermarket. And then if you talk about the cost of GMO, that it is very expensive, I don't think so, because by using GMO we can press another price so that we can get the lowering food prices. Yes, and then I think all people can consume it and it is lower cost. And by GMO we also can modify the plant so that it is resistant to the herbicide or pest. So we can save our cost by not buying fast because modified by GMO. And then it is safe. Yeah, but the reality is it is safe, I think, and it is halal, is it halal, and all of things that controlled by the government and it is allowed by government. I think it is based on the MUI rule also. So I think it is halal. Although even when it is haram, but we can concern with the urgency. Although it is haram, I think comparing with the urgency, I think it can be halal for a specific time. Understand pertanyaan? Oh iya.
You said that.
Wait, sabar. Enak ya muncul kontroversi. Wait. Okay. I think that's all of your question I can answer it easily because I know what you feel ya when you are yes, thank you.
Based the opinion of the pro group, yeah. If you say the tempeh is cheaper, I know that now is cheap, tempeh is the example of food that can food by another people in the every layer of citizen in Indonesia, especially. Yeah. But you must know if we only focus only on tempeh, yeah, but the GM is very large topic and large about identify, and then the topic of GM is very much not only by food. If you just take one example of tempeh, yeah, this is a simple example, right? But right now GM if applied in the human, like Mr. Rizal said, this is imitate the people who like created of color. This is impolite, right? Because we can say that we are like a god that can create another living thing. Yeah, this is about the people. Yeah. And then the another topic and another food that explain just only in tempeh. If you just focus in tempeh, it's not like that. For the example, yeah, from Era said she said that rice can be a good genetic because can be improved by GM, but this is every GM that apply in plant and apply in food specially, I think will get bad impact for our body and for environment. Because why? Every something that instant that created by human usually not give the good benefit for our. Maybe right now many people not feel the impact of it, but in the long time you must thinking about it, because if we just stay and only enjoy with the GM right now, oh I get the new result about GM, but we must thinking about the impact in the last years, not only right now.
10 years old.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you for the first part. It is done. Give applause for the pro and then con. And then right now the second part. It is both of you have chance to argue. But if there is one more speaker, it is more than 5 minutes. You directly raise your hand and you can directly argue that one. It is free debate for you. Okay, because the first chance I give to pro, now the second chance I will give to Kon the first speech. Who wants to speak first?
Okay,
It's free.
maybe I can ask to Mr. Rizal. Mr. Rizal said if GM is halal, OMG. I think not like that, not like that. Based on the condition, yes, I know that. But I asked, this is about human. I asked about human kan in my statement first my statement. I will you give the surah Al-Hajj verses 5. This is about if a created human. Ya ayuhan nas in kuntum fi raibin mimma baiti fa inna khalaqnakum min turabin thumma min nutfatin thumma min alaqatin thumma min mudghatin al-ayah. This is the surah says this is about the created from human. Cannot repeat, yeah, I'm sorry. Cannot repeat because you not listening. Okay, yeah, this is haram. If you say about GM is halal, OMG, but I want say to Ma'am Aunun or other is okay, yeah. If you say we can import to other country about fruit, I'm so sorry, yeah. If I still take a walk in the supermarket or other, I still see apple Fuji and other. This is from another country, not from Indonesia and other, yeah. Maybe not apple Fuji or other, yeah. There are lemon pungui, Papilo and other. I know that, yeah. This is it. Yeah, this is import, not actually if the GM is very more benefit, yeah, from our country. So we must more import to other country and get benefit to our country. And before import, I think enough. Okay. I think enough. Yes. I'm so sorry. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Iyo.
Yeah, it's free.
Yeah.
Free. All of you can speak. Just raise your hand and then you can stand up. And then you can speak there.
Langsung stand. Langsung stand.
Okay then. I'm not agree if you say that genetic engineering is haram, right? Because it's what's rule and what's by institution that really focus on it, especially on our nation or our country. Yeah? On Fatwa MUI number 35 in years 2013, we said about data, yeah? Not just about human opinion. No, we talk about data because we are scientists, yeah, right?
I said about that.
No, wait. MUI said that halal label on GM or GMO can be happen if the media and then the genetic that used on it not polluted with haram things, yeah. I give underline in it, especially in our staple food like soybean or rice, golden rice. Like you know, for the mechanical engineering, for the genetical engineering, the genetic from this plant combined with the DNA from other bacteria, not haram or polluted things. So please give underline on it. Yeah. And then, like Mr. Arul said, the GM can be happens on human. No, I'm not agree with it. Yeah, because cloning and then genetical engineering is so different. We cannot relate it with each other. Yeah, it's so different. So we talk about GM, not about cloning. It's two different definition, yeah, and it's two different, yes, and it's different definition and it's different process, especially that happens in the organism. Okay, thank you.
Can I? Wow.
Okay.
Can I?
The turn on.
It's okay.
Okay. Yeah. Directly stand up is okay.
Here. No. It's already stand.
Okay. Before that,
Wait, yeah. When want to speak up, when there is no one to stand up and then you write and then you directly.
okay.
So you can directly argue with another statement, but it's already stand up. So wait until then
Okay. We know that human interest is never be enough. Nowadays, program of genetic engineering is not only about biology. It's also it's not only in the crops or plants. It also reach the animals. It also reach the human. How to program a baby with maybe blondie hair, with green eye, like that. Okay, or maybe the mother want a baby with want twin baby with the same characteristic, the same genealogy or other. Now, from that we know that this genetic engineering is give us the opportunities to modify species to be stronger that what the Pro team said before. But however, before we reach that what is it the damage of this aspect, this will reduce the diversity of this universe. We know that the universe needs diversity. We know that for the plants we have so many genus, so many species. Also from the animals, also in the human. We know that human has many characteristics. Human has many from the brain level or from the attitude, from the and many others. Yeah. So can you explain how can the genetic engineering is stopped before the damage happen? How can we stop the power of people, the greediness of people that will make this diversity loss in universe? How can you explain to us? Is it can to be stopped, or this genetic engineering?
Okay.
This genetic engineering, yeah.
Okay, I think you only say human, animals, the lack of the disadvantage of cloning or genetically engineering. I think you say about cloning of human, but in animal, in plant,
No,
there
we're not only
are
talking about cloning, ma'am. Before that,
okay,
we're not
but
only
you
talking
say
about cloning.
the more genius, the more strongest. Not only say about that. I think you only say about human, cloning of human.
No, we're not only talking about that, because
An animal.
cloning means a species become make the second species
but
same, right?
the main purpose of GMO
To make stronger. To make stronger.
genetically GMO genetically engineering is first solve any problems of food lack that face humans in the world who can solve conventionally. Okay. The second, there is unlimited potential in genetic engineering that useful for produce using pesticide. Solve the food lack and produce food more nutritious. So I will answer your question about who can eat, who can pay, who can buy this food. All of us can buy because the base food in the all of variety of food is GMO, product from GMO. The soybean, the rice, the corn, the cassava, yes, and you have to underline reduce using pesticide. If reduce using pesticide, of course, automatically we can reduce the price for by pesticide, and then the main purpose is the food lack, problems of food lack, hunger in any country. If we do not use this GMO product, still there are a lot of people feel hunger, and the country, not special in Indonesia, all of the country will pay to solve this problem. So many money, I think, to solve this problem. So solve this hunger of citizen in the country. So the purpose not only for nutrients but for economy, social, and the integrity of
We know when we use the GMO or genetic engineering, we not use the pesticide. Ever you think about the effect when we use the GMO? Same as like I said before, how when the GMO is failed? Bagaimana kalau when the GMO is failed? Now it can make our environment is broke.
But you have to use the data when
Came from America.
Okay.
Food
I have
Drug
a-
Administration never
Wait,
never regulate about the symptom of the disease that can caused by GMO.
Okay, I have a data from Brazil at the 1998 from Nutle. Now, from the nut of the Brazil can make the one product of GMO. Now, it can take again, not what is it? Not
Only one society.
because that is the effect of the what is that? The mutation gene, unpredictable mutation gene, and then that is make the toxic from the society in Brazil.
Okay, but this
Okay, before
the one product. All of
Okay,
product.
ma'am, before that, you asked to us before, and we import from other countries. Is it truly about the food like, or because some big seller like agent is missing in the distribution?
Okay, the fulfill of tempe.
Okay, let's talk
Okay,
about
tempe. All of food, vegetable, fruit, and then fish, and then another. To fulfill the need of human, if used conventionally technique methods, it can need a long time. But there are many population in world, not in country, in world. So this GMO can distribute to
Okay.
all country in the world.
Okay, ma'am. I wanna ask you before. Could a farmer make tempe or other vegetable with the genetic engineering? Could the traditional farmer make that? Is it? It's not.
No,
right?
it's not.
Yes. That's what the point. That's what the point. Yeah, because we can let the farmer.
Only one product.
That is from the social aspect. From the social aspect, we are cutting the profession. We are cutting the profession of the farmer. That is the yes, because the traditional farmer. Let us say that how many farmers in this
Maybe
in
yes,
this.
maybe no.
So you are gathered in this
Yes,
business.
by modern biotechnology system, cutting farmer. But
Oh, you agree? So you agree with us?
solution is the high technology. It become the sometimes like the dream.
With
Ah,
keep
the
it.
Or the farmer don't buy the feed,
Yeah.
don't buy the feed by money. Is it not give the difficult to the farmer?
When you know Balitbank or Balitas, yeah, when you know Balitbank, it will that is the government institution, yeah. They will spread that will freely for the farmer, Balitbank or
But not
Balitas.
all farmers know about it.
Yes,
Because
especially
nobody know about
for
it.
plants that extinct in the society, yeah.
All of the technology, development of technology is reduce the source of human, the human resources, of course, yeah. The GMO or genetically engineering is the one of development of technology. So we have to realize that we have to increase our ability, all of the teachers, student, and then farmer, and then the bankers, I think. So in these problems, genetic engineering so best can help.
Do you mean that?
Can help.
Okay. Do you mean that everyone should learn about science? Do you mean that?
No, increase the ability of their knowledge, their profession. So if we are teacher, we have to increase how to teach with social media, with laptop, with desktop, same with farmers,
Technology.
No, we have to try. Yes. Now is
This
not
bold
yet.
my statement here. If you say that every people can access by media social when the teacher explain in IG or YouTube, yeah. Right now, the quality of human resources in Indonesia is not same, yeah.
Yes, alright.
So, if you say that it can apply to all the people in the citizen, we can teach one by one, but the fact is not like that.
Yeah. So it is contrary to your statement before
Yeah.
that genetic engineering can
Only
be
for the-
enjoyed
difficult, right? If you said, we are teacher, we must teach to the one people by one, it's very difficult. Make the people
I think
understand
we
about it,
have
it's more
teaching.
difficult.
Teaching in the school.
Not only teaching in the school,
Yes. Yes, yeah. You only teach in the, not only in the school, yes. For example, we just try to teach in some area. We go to the some village and then we give the way to planting, the way it's not.
No, not like that. That's not the opinion.
but in fact, yeah, in fact, yeah, in our life, we know that all the product that we use or we consume is more than 40% is used GMO, right? Agree or no?
Yes,
Agree
agree.
or no? You
No,
don't agree or
no.
Give applause for pro and contra the group. It is a very, very interesting of debate for this part for today. So the last part it is closing statement. So I give the first for pro and then the second chance it is for con. So I give you 1 minute to maybe closing statement to make closing statement, and then you can directly say just one of the two speak up. Thank you.
How many minutes?
Directly, okay.
Directly, okay.
Okay, for the last statement from our team, my team, sorry, yeah, we are disagree about GM. Why? Because if this is applied to all the people, this is need for a long time. Not all the people have good human resources. If you only say that it can apply in another country, yes, but if it can apply in Indonesia, I think it's so difficult. Why? Because everything in Indonesia usually difficult to get in the some people like in village, very deep of village, it's difficult to get about information. And then to get information from media social is also difficult because the signal and the position of the area is so far away from the internet like that, and then so if they want to learn and we come to the area and then teach to the people, I think this is need for a long time to make the people get a skill to improve the GM. I think very difficult. Not yet again about the human resources that not can receive our information directly. They need for a long time to learn. They need time for apply it, and then they also look the condition of the area. This can apply the GM or not. So I think my team say that we are disagree about GM. Thank you.
Okay, great. So now the next turn for pro group to give closing
I
statement.
think it's more simple than contra group. Yeah, I think for genetic engineering is very best way if we apply in not only in Indonesia but all countries, because genetic engineering is very useful especially for improve the quality of nutrient for food, to improve the healthy and the people's life. So, and don't forget, genetic engineering is one of the knowledge that we must to study with it. So, developing of knowledge, especially about genetic engineering, is part of worship, I think.
Okay, okay, let's up, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your attention, and we hope we back again for tomorrow with religion debate. Okay, thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.